Okay, then I guess we're gonna figure out why American food is banned in Europe. Why is it banned in Europe? I have some ideas. Because it's not safe. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Why is it banned?
McDonald's operates in 118 countries. In the UK, their burger bun has about a dozen ingredients. But in the US, the same bun has over 25. And up until 2016, one of those ingredients was a dough conditioner that's also used to manufacture yoga mats and shoes. And the CEO of McDonald's just went viral recently, eating one of these burgers on camera, calling it the product the entire time.
Do you remember that when he went viral for taking like the teeniest, tiniest bite out of a freaking... Wait, where is it? Where is it? Okay. He's just petting it like, oh, that's a good product. That's a real good product. Oh my goodness. Okay, where? There it is. That's the bite. That's the bite he took. Literally, it looks like he didn't take any bite, right? Right? That's the bite. That's the bite he took. Like, look at this. Wait. See? He took a bite. And he looks like he doesn't enjoy it at all. I love moving frame by frame. See? That's the bite he took. See? He was like, He's really struggling with it. Look at that. Even you would take a bigger... Yes, even I take a bigger bite. And I take... For like burgers, I think it's really hard to eat them because I always take like small bites because I don't know how to eat them at the beginning. Because when you eat a burger, like when you take the first bite, it's like, how do I fit this thing into... How the fuck... Yeah, that's the first bite. But even I take a bigger one. Okay? Even mine is bigger.
Silpullet2 just yeeted X 100 bits. He knew that this bite will shorten his life for like 10 years.
Oh my goodness, literally Squidward. He knows what's in it. Yeah. How do I even attack this? Yeah.
These burgers on camera, calling it the product the entire time. Not the burger, not the food, the product. And honestly, that might...
Yeah, toast would take bigger bites.
Might be the most accurate description of American food right now, because there are over 3,000 additives approved in the US that are restricted or banned in other developed countries.
What?
And every single one of them got theirs.
I mean, I do sometimes try American food. Does anyone know if the imported American food, the food, like the sweets that are imported into Europe, they have to be under European regulations, so they can't import stuff with additives that are banned, right? Because sometimes I'm just curious and I just try them, right? Hi years, how are you? They can't. Okay. It depends. I feel like he's actually maybe, I don't know, no idea, because I thought like if it's banned in Europe, you probably are not allowed to import it. If it's openly sold, it has to follow EU regulations. Yeah, it's openly sold, like in stores. Yeah, American chocolate. The problem with American chocolate is that it tastes like, as far as I know, it tastes like barf because of how they treat the milk, because they have to ship it over, like drive it through the whole country. Depends on where you buy it and how legit the shop is. It's a legit shop. The shop I buy from is a legit shop. It's an in-store shop. Like, they have stores. Oh no! I hope I can at least make the day a little bit better right now. You can't import stuff without it, but you can't sell it. Okay. I think if you buy something from Aldi or something like that, it should be fine. Okay. Yeah, on the internet that could be problematic. I understand that. That's absolutely understandable. That if you buy stuff from over the internet, that might be a bit problematic because it doesn't have regulations. They probably can sell it in the EU, like they probably can just ship it to the EU, but because they don't sell it within the EU. But if they sell it within the EU, it probably has to be under EU regulations. At least that's what I think. And with beyond discussing, oh no, that the thing does not deserve the name chocolate, just like their cheese. Okay, I understand that you have a very strong opinion on that, Jenny. As a Swiss person, I as you are a Swiss person, I think you have the better understanding about what actually deserves to be called chocolate and what actually deserves to be called cheese. I feel insulted by calling it Oh no. Maybe don't buy meat from AliExpress. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe don't.
Through a regulatory loophole that was created in 1958 and hasn't been meaningfully updated since. So the question isn't whether these companies can make food without these chemicals. They make cleaner versions of the same products for every other country
Germany.
they sell in. The question is why they choose not to do it here.
Ultra processed food epidemic. The one that always like freaks me up in America is the corn syrup. Is it corn syrup? No, is it called corn syrup? The syrup that they add into, like, for example, the crumble cookies, which makes them like 1,000 calories. It's corn syrup. It is corn syrup. The stuff they put into crumble cookies, which makes them so much more calorie dense than if you just were to use regular sugar. It's insanity. We use corn syrup for everything. I just think it's so insane. Because a cookie like a crumble cookie, I've been saying that, like, I have said that many times already, I know, but a cookie like a crumble cookie should not have 1,500 calories or something. It should have like maximum 600, 700 maximum, because if you look at like a Subway cookie, it's about the same size, I would say, and a Subway cookie, at least in Germany, it has like 400 calories maximum. Like the crumble cookie, I know it has toppings, so there is absolutely the possibility to have more calories than like 400 because of the toppings, but it should not have more than like 700 at the most. No, it's actually imported stuff, Fluffy. Hi, good boy. But real sugar would cost the company 2 cents more. And that's also the biggest question I'm asking myself. Is sugar that much more expensive than high fructose corn syrup? Yeah, that one. There's other types. Yeah, the high fructose corn syrup, exactly. That's the one that I meant. The most energy-dense food is Nuka-Cola. Nuka-Cola. It's also, I think that's one of the things that Fallout made so interesting, because the food in Fallout is ultra-processed food. I watched this one lore video about all of the food in Fallout. It's so interesting about the food industry in Fallout, because I see like some similarities to actual America, and it's like, damn. How many calories did the cookie have? The cookie normally, like those crumble cookies, I think they have like 1,200 to 1,500 calories for one cookie. 2 cents times 20 billion cuts into my yearly bonus. Oh no. I know exactly what video you watched. Corn is cheap in America. Beet sugar and cane sugar are not produced in the quantities. Oh. And the corn is subsidized. I see. Okay.
To understand how this works, let's forget about the history for a second and just follow a product.
The croissant cookie, I don't know how many calories. The croissant cookie, I would guess 800, but it was the cookie. Yeah, I would, if I were to guess, because it was very chocolatey, 800, 900. But that's basically all I ate that day. I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat that and a little teeny tiny thing on top of that, and that's all I ate that day, because I was like, damn, it was very filling. It was very, very filling, I tell you. But if like it doesn't say how much calories it has, but if I were to guess, like a normal croissant has like 400, roughly 400, and a cookie 400. So just add that together with a little bit on top, because it has a lot of chocolate on it, like 900. Food in Fallout is still edible after 200 years in nuclear apocalypse. Yep. The cookie calorie bomb still probably had less than the American cookie. It's just a guess, though. I went to Germany and saw planted everywhere. Yeah, we have a lot of those, yeah. But imagine that just by corn. But we also have a lot of corn. But maybe I'm just not in the right parts of Germany.
Let's say a food company develops a brand
know what
new
you're talking
chemical,
about, Castini.
never been tested, never been reviewed, and they want it in a box of cereal by next month. Let's call it Compound X. Here's what happens. The company would hire a panel of scientists to review the safety data on Compound X. Many of these scientists have financial ties to the company paying them. And every single time, they reach the same conclusion.
So is it like the TÜV, but with not independent? So you're like paying scientists to say that your stuff is good. Like, they're not independent, they're dependent on... So it's the TÜV with corruption? Does no one, like, did no one, when they came up with that, like, thought, oh, that might be a conflict of interest? Mayhaps. It's like the TÜV, but they only get the money if they give the certificate. That is a bit stupid. Thank you for the follow. Hi, have a lot of fun with the follow emotes. Yeah, and money is the universal. So more like your quality insurance department who said it's fine. Yeah. Did no one like think, oh well, this is can you say my dangerous chemical is harmless if I give you subs? You're the scientist. But isn't that okay? That's a conflict of. Let's see.
Compound X is generally recognized as safe, or GRAS.
Grass.
That GRAS label is so important because it's basically a golden ticket.
Sorry, German.
Any ingredient that gets classified as GRAS is completely exempt from the FDA's normal approval process. No safety review, no testing requirements.
We have to touch it. Oh, I'm ahead with the topic. I'm sorry.
No waiting period. It skips the entire line.
What we have seen over time is that companies are creating new ingredients, having their own scientists or hiring outside scientists to make their own determinations that an ingredient is safe. And then once they self-declare that their ingredient is safe, they don't have to go through that pre-market process.
You know what makes me a bit mad about that as well? So, as a scientist, we always, like, in normal science, when you are a scientist, because I studied biochem, so I would call myself a scientist, you always have peer reviews. So, for something to be actually recognized among scientists, you need peer reviews. So, you need people from the same field, but who are not like affiliated with you, like money-wise or something, to look over your stuff, read it, and be like, yeah, seems about right. And if they see something where they're like, I think you should also test for that in your experiment, then you get it back and you have to test for that. But this is not peer reviewed. So this is not science, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but this is not science. Runya, would you peer review my biomedical paper? I think I'm not qualified to do that. But that costs extra. I know, but that's not science. You can't call it science then. Sorry. Does people fall off balconies? I hope not.
Process.
The FDA created this designation in 1958. And it was originally meant to cover things like salt, vinegar, and baking soda, stuff nobody needed to test because humans had been eating it for centuries. But by the 1990s, the FDA had a problem. You see, as food became more and more industrialized, hundreds of companies were submitting applications to try to get that golden ticket for the new ingredients they were using. And the agency didn't have the budget or the staff to review them all. The backlog was so long that it would take years to clear. So in 1997, under pressure from the Clinton administration's push to cut costs and speed up federal agencies,
so it's about money. I didn't know what I thought going into this video because obviously all of this is about money. Like obviously, hi Cat. Yeah, you only get the bestest food. Yes, you get good food. I know that it's always about money. I know, and I don't know what I thought going into this video, what the video was about. But why is it always about money? It is kind of tiring that the health of people, like it's also like you're toying with the health of your population, but that's like people don't care about that if they can care about money, I guess. I see, Castini. It's always about money. I know, but it's kind of tiring at some point.
the FDA made a decision that changed everything.
There was an announcement today by the Food and Drug Administration. Bettina Gregory has the story.
Instead of requiring companies to submit their safety data for review, they made the whole process voluntary. That means
So that's the reason why people actually in Germany, oh sorry, not in Germany, but in America really trust the FDA approved stuff, because I what I see from some like American YouTubers that I watch, or like VTubers that I watch, they're like, okay, if it's FDA approved, I'm gonna eat it, but not otherwise. And that's why people like always like make a big thing about it's FDA approved, at least in like commercials. They do a big like, it's FDA approved, buy it now. Hi, can I have a lot of fun with the emotes? No, I am not. Hi, Luke. Money is, yeah, apparently it is. Apparently.
the company doesn't have to submit its determination to the FDA. It doesn't have to share the safety data. It doesn't even have to tell the FDA that compound X exists. It can just start putting it in food and shipping it to stores.
How is that legal? I know it's legal, like that's what we just heard, but so is it just basically human? Isn't that basic? I'm sorry, but isn't that basically testing untested compounds on humans, like human experiments, without even knowing what it's gonna do? Is that not a bit, you know, bad? Testing random compounds on humans without telling them? It's legal because the corporations in America make the laws. We're cooked. I am so sorry, Celestial Llama. By the way, nice freaking name, but holy shoot. You don't die from eating it. It got proven. Yippee! Yippee! Slightly unethical. Yeah, that's the word I searched for. Slightly unethical. If you kill enough people, you have to pull it from the shelves. Wow. Have you ever wondered why food poisoning is so common in the US? No. Actually not. I've never wondered. But I think I only had like food poisoning once in my whole lifetime, and it was from McDonald's. And I don't even know if it was food poisoning, because I was fine the next day, because I like puked everything out, and after that I was A-okay again. Too few people that get mad. Oh my goodness. And that's why it's not changing. Yeah. And it says, Mom, sweet. I know. I forgot the radium. Yeah, I know about radium, girls. I've somehow never had food poisoning. I think only once. But I'm not sure if it actually was food poisoning. They can guess as good as those ingredients that people need years to get sick. Yeah. Somehow. I'm still also kind of like, but I don't even know a lot of people that get food poisoning. At least, like, I hear a lot about food poisoning, but that's on social media. In my, like, vicinity, like, from people that I actually know, I only know they have Magen-Darm, so like, what's it called in English? It's just gastrointestinal, just stomach flu. Stomach flu, that's it. They just get like stomach flus, like that's something that we get quite a lot, but that's pretty common. It's not like food poisoning, it's not from food. Our product doesn't kill you, yippee! What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Phthalimide was the worst drug. I know that turned out to F people. What was phthalimide again? Let me check. You only had food poisoning once. Oh, you're a sweet, innocent, untouched angel. I'm so glad you had for you. Literally only once. Oh, was that the one? Oh yeah, Contagan. Okay, I know what it is. Okay, yeah, that was the one. That was the one with the switches between R and S, and one of them causes all of the birth defects. Right, I remember that one. We talked about that quite a lot in university, but mainly as Contagan and not as thalidomide, but as Contagan. You only had upset tummy. Yeah, upset tummy. I've had a few people who are super duper unfortunate and have multiple food poisoning experience. Like how it's crazy, right? Radium and food poisoning in a sentence directly next to each other is not the most common situation. This is fine. I'm so sorry. Literally, this is crazy. I didn't know about that. Like, I've never known about that. Like, I know that there is a lot of stuff that's banned in Europe that's not banned in America, but I didn't know it was because of that.
Think about that for a second. That's like a student grading their own exam, and the teacher saying, you don't even have to show me the test. I'll just take your word for it. And this isn't a hypothetical edge case. According to a 2022 analysis, companies have used this system to self-approve nearly 99%.
Yeah, obviously they're gonna use it. Sorry, but who are we to think that companies are gonna be like moral about that and not just like use the cheapest ingredients they can find, even if it's not tested? If it does the job, it does the job. Who are we to think that companies are not gonna like misuse this? I gave myself an A+. Yeah, just take my word. Sure, Leonie, sure. But companies are your friends and only want your best for you. Sure. Didn't they basically do that with the... I don't think so. No, that was actually like peer-reviewed kind of. That was actually peer-reviewed.
Of new food chemicals since the year 2000. The Pew Research Center estimated in 2013 that roughly 1,000 ingredients had entered the food supply through this pathway without the FDA even knowing about them. The FDA's own former deputy commissioner for food admitted in 2014 that we simply do not have the information to vouch for the safety of many of these chemicals.
Isn't that sad to have to like? That's so sad to say. As like what do you mean I can't put sawdust in a patty I sell for 100% beef? Well, Saufenberg. Well, they fast-tracked the approval, but it was still peer-reviewed. Like a lot of peer review was going on, and all of it was already in the works for a very long time. Especially the RNA vaccines were like in the works for a very long time, and already in the process of being peer reviewed.
System that was designed in 1958 to exempt salt and vinegar from paperwork is now the primary pathway that the entire food industry uses to put new chemicals into your food without any oversight. And this is where you start to see why the same food tastes different depending on which country you buy it in.
Yeah, that's insane. That's why you get... Wait, there is stickers. This causes cancer in California. Wait, no. No, you can't tell me there's a... No. California. No way, there's not sticker. No fucking way. No. That is insanity. Wait, I will show you a picture. I'm sorry. Hi, chemicals. I hope you're doing alright. Wait, no. Consuming this product can expose you to chemicals including lead and cadmium, which is known in the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects or other reproductive... By the way, this is just something pickled, isn't it? Yes, ma'am. Or lady. Absolutely. That is insanity. Holy shoot, I want a roll of those stickers for pranking. No, don't, Nitrogen. Welcome in my jury, thank you. I wonder who buys it with such a label on it. I mean, honestly, people still buy, like, cigarettes with labels on them that it causes cancer and stuff. So, I think there's enough people that will buy this, honestly. Let's be for real. Cadmium colors are very pretty. That is true. Cadmium has very pretty colors, but you shouldn't consume it. It will only cause cancer in California. Oh my goodness. It's not for human consumption loophole. So for real? Cancer vaccine. Those labels are common on almost everything. Okay, I've never heard that that's a thing. That is wild. At least for me. Damn. Hi, Mal. I'm not so duck.
Take a mac and cheese from Kraft, for example.
I've always wanted to try that. Now I'm scared. Because everyone loves it.
The US version got its color from something called Yellow 5 and Yellow 6. They are synthetic dyes derived from petroleum. but the UK version used something way healthier. They use paprika extract and beta-carotene, which is an orange pigment naturally found in carrots. Not because Kraft can't make it without the artificial dyes in the UK. It's because in Europe, yellow 5 and yellow 6 dyes requires a mandatory warning label.
Yeah, of course it requires a mandatory warning. What the hell? I'm sorry, I don't talk about politics here. Because if you talk about politics on the internet, there is always gonna be... It doesn't matter what you say, you're always gonna get shit from anyone. So, like, we're just trying to do fun stuff, I guess. Imagine using spices. Yeah, imagine that.
Reads may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Rather than putting a warning on the box,
like
Kraft just
40,
formulated for the European market. But in the US, no warning is required, so the artificial version stays on the shelf. Another good example is the popular drink Mountain Dew. It contains brominated vegetable oil in America, a pretty bad oil for your heart, but not in Europe or Japan because they're banned in those countries.
Okay, so one thing that confuses me is okay, I know it's about money, okay? Okay, don't get me wrong. I already know it's about money. It's about money, but they can produce it healthier, not like as bad for your body in other countries, but not for America. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad that other countries get the healthy thing? Like, not okay, healthy in like big quotation marks, okay? Healthier version. And America gets like the stuff that is known to cause issues? That's so sad. Honestly. I know it's allowed and cheaper. I know. But holy shikes. How do you think any conspiracy theorist or gym influencer sells their supplements? It's absolute insanity. Cutting the yeah. The control of the substance for other substances, they would need partners. It's dumb.
Bread products across dozens of American brands contain potassium bromate,
oh my goodness,
a dose strengthener banned in Canada.
That's why American bread is bullshit. Eat German bread, okay? Try German bread. Try good German bread, okay? I would like to stop being poisoned, please. I'm so sorry, Castini. That is absolute insanity.
The UK, the EU, China, and Brazil, because research linked it to kidney damage and cancer in animal studies. California banned it in 2023, but at the federal level, it's still approved, which means a chemical that most of the developed world considers unsafe is sitting in the bread aisle of grocery stores in 46 out of 50 American states. None of these companies are being...
Isn't American bread classed as cake in the EU? I think some, actually, yeah. I think some American bread is actually classed as cake in we in Germany would probably class it as cake or something. I think because of the sugar content. Yeah. I think I've heard about that. Subway bread. Yeah, right. It was Subway bread. Thank you. Yeah, it was Subway bread. Honestly, I really like Subway. Okay, don't get me wrong. I really like Subway, but yeah. Subway bread. Thank you. Hi, Barnacle. Hi, Obly. It's sweet bread. Yeah, but it's not like, I don't think it's classed as cake, but it's not classed as bread either because it is like the sugar content is too high. But I also heard about something else. There is this one lemonade in Germany. I don't know if it's a thing in other. This one. Lemonade. It's called Lemonade. I don't know if that's a German brand. Is that a German brand? Lemonade beverages. Yeah, it's a German brand. Lemonade. So it's no aid. Like in to aid someone. Lemon and then to aid someone. And they, as far as I heard, they are not allowed. Yeah, exactly. Like silver and nitrogen. Exactly. As far as I heard, they are not. Exactly. Their sugar contents is too low. And that's why they are not to call themselves a lemonade. Because they're sugar content is too low. That's also a thing that exists. I didn't know about that. Someone told me recently, and I was like, damn. I did not know that was a there is a minimum. That's the word. Sorry, I only knew the German word because I have the German Wikipedia article. There's a minimum sugar content that you have to have for something to call it a lemonade. And they had issues because they did not reach the minimum sugar content for it to be called a lemonade, which is kind of like insanity if I think about it. I think it was 6 grams of sugar per 100 milliliters. So it wasn't allowed to call itself a lemonade, technically. It's
forced to use these ingredients.
So crazy.
They're making a financial calculation that using cheaper inputs in the American market is worth it, because the regulatory system doesn't penalize them for doing so. The US operates on an innocent until proven guilty standard, where an ingredient is assumed safe until enough evidence accumulates over years or decades to prove it's harmful. Europe uses the precautionary principle, which flips the logic. If there is uncertainty, a new ingredient doesn't get approved until the manufacturer can scientifically prove it's safe. And America hasn't switched to the European model for one straightforward reason. Both sides benefit from keeping it the way it is. For the FDA, reviewing every new edit.
But there is a third side, the consumer, who does not benefit from that. Like, there is not just two sides. Okay, there is a third one. What is the class? It is still classed as lemonade because I just looked at the Wikipedia article because they were like, wait. Can I translate that into English? Oh, that's only available in German. 1 second. I will translate it into English real quick. Because my brain, like I said, I spoke way too much German today. So, the mandatory minimum sugar content was repealed by the publication of the revised version of the guidelines on April 10th, 2024. In the Federal Gazette? What is that? Gazette? Oh, Federal Gazette.
Federal Gazette.
Gazette. It's pronounced Gazette. I have no idea. I did not know that's what that is called. Okay, interesting. Since then, no minimum sugar content has been required. So it's still classed as a lemonade because they changed the rules, basically. Cares about the consumer. Oh, yeah, it's like, it's like a newspaper, okay. And more people addicted to it. Yippee!
Additives would take years per ingredient and require a budget that they don't have. For the food companies, it's even simpler. Why spend millions on independent safety testing and wait 2 years for FDA approval when you can pay a fraction of that to certify food safety yourself? Back in 2010, when one company was questioned by the FDA about the safety of an ingredient called theobromine, they simply withdrew their voluntary notification, hired an independent contractor to declare it safe anyway, and kept using it. The FDA had no mechanism to stop them. The agency can't afford to enforce stricter rules, and the industry has no financial reason to follow them. That's how a loophole stays open for almost 7 decades. The GRAS loophole is basically a multi-billion-dollar subsidy for whoever can exploit it most creatively. And the companies exploiting it the best are the ones you've never heard of. Go to your kitchen right now and pick up the first packaged food you see. Could be a bag of Doritos, a can of Coca-Cola, a cup of yogurt, or a box of Cheerio. Flip it over and look at the ingredient list. Somewhere on there, you are almost guaranteed to see 2 words: natural flavors. That phrase is doing a lot of work because in most cases, the formulation behind those 2 words wasn't created by the brand on the front of the box. There are 3 major firms that engineer the flavors in almost everything Americans eat. The food brands hire them the way a restaurant hires a chef, except these chefs serve 300 million people and nobody knows their name. The biggest is a Swiss company called Givaudan. The second is an American.
I mean, if it's a Swiss company, shouldn't it be held to Swiss standards? Technically. We get a little crafty. Oh my goodness.
Company called IFF, which stands for International Flavors and Fragrances. And the third is another Swiss firm called Firmenich. Together, they control over 55.
Nah, it depends on where it's sold. Oh. Well.
of a market worth over $40 billion a year. Givaudan alone holds roughly a quarter of the global market and offers over 2,200 different strawberry flavors.
Oh, Nestle is also Swiss. Oh.
In its category. Not 22, not 220, over 2,200 variations of a single fruit flavor, each one optimized for a different product and a different consumer base. IFF purchases roughly 8,500 raw materials from 2,300 suppliers worldwide, blending them into proprietary compounds that get licensed to the brands you see on the shelf. And every single one of those formulations is legally classified as a trade secret. So when you read natural flavors on the label, you're looking at a formula that could contain dozens of individual chemical compounds, solvents, and preservatives.
But is that only a thing in America? Because that would be interesting now. Is that only a thing that is in America? Because I can't imagine that it is legal in Europe too, you know? Even if it's a trade secret, like, you still need to put, like, approved stuff in there, right? If they're willing to pay for lesser quality product, just tell them it's their problem. Yeah, okay, well.
None of which have been disclosed because trade secret law overrides ingredient transparency laws in the US. And here's why the secrecy matters so much to them. These formulations aren't just about making food taste good. They're engineered to make you eat more.
But please be wary of the glutamate stuff, because oh my goodness, I still have so many people who are like, oh no, but glutamate makes you eat way more. Glutamate is not good for you, guys. Okay, it's an essential amino acid. It's literally in our body thousands, millions of time at each given point, because it's part of proteins, which make up literally all of our pathways in our bodies. Glutamate. Yes, of course, you shouldn't consume a lot of it, of course, but that goes with everything. You should not consume too much of anything. You shouldn't consume too much of water. Are we going to say water is bad for us? No. So just be careful about stuff like that. But there is still so many people who are like, oh no, glutamate, blah, 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 blah. Glutamate is actually really nice because it gives you that umami flavor as well. And then the funniest thing in Germany, we have a thing, it's called a Maggi. Okay? Maggi is basically, what is in it? Maggi. It's what is in this? What is in this? Zutaten. Maggi is basically glutamate, okay? Let's just say it's basically monosodium glutamate and salt. And the people are like, oh no, glutamate is so bad for you. And then they go and get the Maggi out, which is like a seasoning, which is just almost just glutamate and salt. It's just MSG. It's just MSG, guys. And they just get it out and they're like, oh no, glutamate is so bad for you. Meanwhile, putting like tons of Maggi on their freaking plate. It's so funny. Hi, Balu. But why we're skeptical of everything. Yeah, MSG. Yeah, it's MSG. The anti-glutamate campaign. Really? I didn't know that. Adds extra gene to the MSG. Some MSG water isn't even vegan. It comes out of chickens. Wait, what? Oh, because of the Han. Okay, now I get it. Don't worry. I got it. Yeah, Maggie. That what Epic wrote. Should you not consume too much of Runya's content as well? I don't know if there is too much of my content. Just saying. Hi, Schmooty.
Food scientists call it the bliss point, the precise combination of sugar, salt, and fat that triggers the strongest craving response without ever making you feel fully satisfied.
Yeah.
It's why you can eat an entire bag of chips without feeling full, the same way you would after a home-cooked meal. Your body isn't registering food the same way because the formulation was specifically designed to bypass your satiety signal. The part
that is so insane, in my opinion. Yeah, what except that is Maggi. I know MSG was blamed for things because of Chinese restaurants in the US use them frequently. But that is so stupid.
Brain that's supposed to tell you, okay, you're full, stop eating. And the bliss point isn't a general target. It's calculated down to the milligram for each individual product. Researchers have found that there is a specific concentration of sugar where the craving response peaks. And if you go even slightly above that concentration, the product starts to taste too sweet, and people would eat less of it. So the flavor company aren't just making food taste good, they're finding the exact mathematical ceiling of how much pleasure.
Honestly, that is ingenious. I know that that's not a good thing, but it's genius. Let's just think about that. I know it's not a good thing, okay? But it's genius. It is ingenious yet diabolical. Thank you. Exactly. That's very impressive, yeah. Maths. It's bliss like the drug from Far Cry. Kind of. I mean, isn't it? Chicken flavored should be McChick. That's crazy engineering. Absolutely. Min-maxing the sugar to make everyone addicted. Yeah.
Your brain can process before it tells you to stop. And then they're parking the formula right below that line. That's why you reach the bottom of the bag and think, I didn't even realize I was still eating. That was the design working as intended. And the reason these companies guard these calculations so aggressively is because getting the bliss point right on a single product can be worth hundreds of millions of dollars in annual sales. Ultra-processed foods built on these formulations now make up nearly 60% of the average American adult's diet. And the number has been climbing up for decades. And studies are now linking high ultra-processed food consumption to increased rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cognitive decline.
Yeah, especially what I think especially very interesting that your gut, like the gut bacteria, the bacteria in your gut, if you consume, it's kind of like your body, if you are addicted to fast food. That's a possibility, okay? If you're addicted to like ultra-processed food, because if you only eaten it your entire life, because I don't know, your parents didn't have a lot of money, because I saw how expensive freaking fruit is in America, and I lost my gosh darn mind because I thought fruit was expensive in Germany, okay? I looked at an American supermarket and was like, damn, we're living the good life over here. It's insane, okay? If you've only eaten ultra-processed food your entire life because, for example, your family didn't have enough money, your gut bacteria, they will make you crave the food. Because it is proven that your gut bacteria, if you only eat ultra-processed food, your gut bacteria wants more of that ultra-processed food because you will cultivate gut bacteria that is like polled for ultra processed food, for sugar. That is why it is so hard. If you're like obese, not like slightly overweight, if you're like literally morbidly obese, that is why it's so hard to get back from that point. That is why it's so hard for people who are morbidly obese to lose weight, because it's not just the craving. It's not just a hungry feeling. It's not just being hungry. It's not as easy as, just eat healthier and walk more. Your body is literally craving that because the bacteria in your gut tells you to eat more of it. Your whole body has to adjust to a better lifestyle, and that's why it's so hard to do like from one day to another, because a lot of the diets are like, okay, one day you only eat like, I don't know, chicken wings, pizza, crumble cookies, whatever, like ultra processed food, whatever, okay? And the next day, okay, we're just gonna eat salads now. That's why that most of the time doesn't work like sustainably. You have to slowly adjust your diet, because you also have to slowly adjust your gut bacteria to it. I think that is so crazy, honestly. Tomatoes are more expensive in the US, yet they don't taste as good of any flavor at all. I've never been to the US, so I can't talk about the taste of fruit and stuff. Bacteria would have a hard time to keep you healthy with those food until those vitamins are almost gone. Yeah, healthy is expensive as a myth. Ultra processed food is way more expensive. I don't know about the US though. I mean, I would agree to in Germany, Connie. I have no idea about the US because I looked at the prices. It's insane. Like for like vegetables and stuff. The prices in the US are insane. I have no idea if that's if healthy is expensive is also it actually is a thing in the US. But if I look at the prices, I think it is. Like, because the prices are insane. The body has to adjust. Yeah, your gut bacteria is basically doing a Schrödinger, kind of. Yeah, I know, Leonie. You should visit, just not eat fast food. I honestly want to try some of the fast food stuff, but I would definitely like share it with other people because I think my body doesn't. Okay, I don't like. I used to eat a lot of like oily food, but as of recently, like my body, if I eat too much oily food, my body will just like cramp up. I will get cramps. I will feel so bad. So I would like share it with someone just to try it. You know, the thing with processed foods is that it lasts on shelves. That's also a thing. Especially there is a big thing in the US is food deserts. I didn't know that was a thing until I, started watching TikTok. There is food deserts in the US. Food deserts in a highly developed country like the US. The first time I heard of that, I was shocked. And it's mainly because of like missing infrastructure. For example, or like the expensive, that it's very expensive to get food there. What is a food desert? Oh, a food desert is, wait, let me look up the actual definition so that I don't say it wrong. I know what it is, but it's harder for me to put into words because I know it in German, but not in English. Wait, let me. So, a food desert is a geographic area where residents have limited or no access to affordable, nutritious, fresh food. It's mainly, for example, like in Alaska, has a lot of food deserts. I think what is it called? Like the very deserty areas also have that. Low income areas also. Yes. Tickles me. I'm so sorry, but it isn't it. It is a developed country. At least that's what it says, right? Thank you so much for the lyric. Yeah, Arizona and Texas. Yeah, Death Valley. That was the one. That was the word I searched for. Death Valley. I think Death Valley has a lot of food deserts as well. Like I said, I think Alaska has a lot of them. I don't know about Hawaii. I don't know what it is, if it's the same in Hawaii, because I mean, technically it's an island, so I don't know how good the food, like the food distribution system there is. No grocery stores in the area because of the worth building operating. Yeah. Gotta farm or travel and stock food. Okay. Baby, what are you doing? Sorry, cat is. Hawaii is full of food, just a lot of imported food that makes it expensive.
But the FDA has no regulatory category for ultra-processed. This means the fastest growing segment of the American diet exists in a complete regulatory blind spot. But the good news is that the FDA was directed in 2025 to explore closing the GRAS self-affirmation loophole.
That's good.
But the rulemaking usually takes years, and the food industry will lobby against any changes that increase their costs. And thousands of FDA scientists were fired in April 2025 due to cost-cutting measures. It means the agency now has even fewer resources to enforce the rules it already has. If you want to protect yourself today, here's something you can do the next time you're at the grocery store.
Go grocery shopping in Germany or Europe. Some things are developed, but not the... Yeah. Hi, Bom. It's good to see you. Not gonna lie, if you decide to live in Death Valley, you should... I mean, not everyone... Oh, Böbü. I mean, not everyone decides that. That's the thing, Saufenberg. If you're born into it, you can't do anything about it if you're born into it. Like, not anything... Hey! Toasty! It's purely cost-benefit analysis. You could build a grocery store, but my spreadsheet says no, it's not worth it, so those people stop. Yeah. Hi, Panda. I mean, if you're born into it, there is not really a possibility, like there is possibility to change, but if you're like from a low income household on top of that, it is not likely that it will change for the next generation, or it will take a long time and several generations to change. Just learn farming and produce your own food. Yippee!
Before you put something in your
I'm
cart, flip it over
sitting
and
straight.
count ingredients. If the list has more than 5 ingredients you can't pronounce or wouldn't find in a home kitchen.
Meanwhile, me having studied biochem, if I can't pronounce it, I won't buy it.
Just put it back. If natural flavors appear in the first 5 ingredients, the product is more engineered than you think. And if you really want to know whether what you're buying is safe, check if the same product exists in the European version. If the European label is shorter,
That's a smart one, actually.
you know that the American version contains things that at least one developed countries decided weren't worth the risk.
That's a smart.
I'm curious
that's
to
a
know
smart,
what you think about ultra-processed food,
smart
and let me
smart
know your
one.
thoughts in the comments.
Thingy.
If you enjoyed this deep dive on
Tip. That's the word I searched for. Smart tip.
food, here's another video where I dive even deeper on a different topic. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.
That was so interesting. Holy shit. I didn't know about that. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe on that video. Please also leave a like, comment, subscribe on this video if you really enjoyed it. You can also leave a hype. Thank you very much for watching, and write your favorite color agent in the comments or whatever. Bye bye. Outro song. This is an outro song. Outro song. This is an outro song.